Nothing short of extraordinary.
20 years, you never even spoke of it.
I didn't know how.
That's a hell of a story. 16-year-old girl in Auschwitz.
Forced to dance for the evil doctor known as the Angel of Death.
I was just like you at 14. I was in love too.
From the security of family life to a place of nightmares.
My boyfriend said, I'll never forget your beautiful eyes and beautiful hands.
The Nazis deported her and her family.
People were selected to die. I did not understand.
A horrible mistake was made.
Is this your mother or is this your sister?
30 minutes, my whole family was gone.
I don't believe it that I'm here.
I could never forgive myself.
I had my secret and the secret had me.
And I became very, very ill.
Not a situation that was survivable.
And I said, well, here I'm gonna die.
It felt like a scene out of a movie.
If I survive today, then tomorrow I'll be free.
Dr. Mengele
came to me and said, she's just gonna take a shower. I still have nightmares. All of a sudden, there was a knock on my door to go to Auschwitz. I was just like you at 14. I was in love too.
Just before the train pulls away, I hear my name. It's Eric. He's calling through the slats of the train. I shove my way toward his voice. I'm here! I call as the engine starts. The slats are too narrow for me to see him or touch him. I'll never forget your eyes, he says. I'll never forget your hands. I repeat those sentences as we board a crowded car. If I survive today, then I can show him my eyes. Then I can show him my hands.
My mother held me and she said, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what's going to happen, just remember, no one can take away from you what you put in your own mind. We arrived in Auschwitz. I saw the sign, I didn't know where I was. My father was separated, and I stood in front of Dr. Mengele, the Angel of Death. My mom was in the middle, and my sister Magda on one side, and I on the other side. And then he asked, is this your mother or is this your sister? I told him, it's my mother. He pointed to the left, and I followed my mom, and then he grabbed me and looked me in the eyes. I never forget those eyes. And he said that I'm gonna see my mother very soon. She's just gonna take a shower. And promptly threw me on the other side, which meant life.
When we arrived at the other side, I asked an inmate, when will I see my mother? And she pointed at the chimney and fire was coming out of the chimney, and she said, your mother is burning there, you better talk about her in past tense. I could never ever forgive myself that I said, it's my mother. My sister and I hugged each other and she said, the spirit never dies, the spirit never dies. Dr. Mengele appeared in our barracks,
searching for talented inmates to entertain him.
And my friends volunteered me.
But my limbs are heavy, as in a nightmare when there's danger and you can't run away. Dance, he commands again. I can hear his voice over the music. He discusses with the other officer which ones of the 100 girls present will be killed next. If I miss a step, it could be me. I close my eyes. I hear my mother's words come back to me. Just remember, no one can take away from you what you've put in your own mind. And now I can hear Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet. The barracks floor become a stage at the Budapest Opera House. I dance for my fans in the audience. I dance within the glow of hot lights. I dance for my lover, Romeo, as he lifts me high above the stage. I dance for love. I dance for life. He must be impressed by my performance because he tosses me a loaf of bread. I shared the bread with Magda and our bunkmates.
We had to be committed to each other, otherwise we never would have made it, because all we had was each other then. They took me out of Auschwitz. I became a slave laborer to enter a death march. And in the death march, when you stopped, you were shot right away.
When we were walking up the steps, I saw nothing but body parts and blood, and I said, well, here I'm gonna die. When I was about to stop, the girls that I shared the bread with, they formed a chair in their arms, and they carried me so I won't die.
Isn't that amazing that the worst conditions can bring out the best in us? I was liberated May 4th, 1945.
I was a mess. I ended up in a hospital. My teeth were separated from my gums. I had 5 kinds of typhoid fever. I could hardly breathe. I was filled with water. They were going to amputate my legs, and reality hit me. I realized my parents are not coming back.
I know my mother and grandparents are dead, and surely my father too. To go home without them is to lose them again. I allow myself to hope, maybe Eric. When I have been home a few weeks, although I am barely strong enough, I make a journey on foot to Eric's old apartment. No one from his family has returned. The apartment is empty. I vow to go back as often as I can. One afternoon, I learned about Eric. Eric was sent to Auschwitz. He died in January, the day before liberation.
I had nothing to get up for because I had no meaning and purpose.
I suffered so many years from survivor's guilt and shame, wondering why me.
I was blessed to be able to go back to school.
I graduated with honors. I never showed up for my graduation because I had so much survivor's guilt.
I didn't need a Nazi out there. I had one in me. When I began to work with Vietnam veterans, I had 2 paraplegics, same symptomatology, same diagnosis. And one of them was kind of in a fetal position. Why me? Angry, cursing God, country. Conversely, the other one says to me, you know, Doc, I'm sitting in a wheelchair, and I'm so grateful that God gave me a second chance in life. And I am, with a white coat, Dr. Eger, Department of Psychiatry, and I feel like the biggest fake, realizing that I cannot take them further than I have gone myself. And I decided to go back to Auschwitz.
Recognizing I had my secret and the secret had me. I was able to go back to that lion's den and look at the lion in the face. I was able to somehow reclaim my innocence, assign the shame and guilt to the perpetrator, and finally forgive myself that I survived.
I regained that power. That was the most positive thing.
Not only I have 3 children, I have 5 grandchildren and 3 beautiful great-grandchildren. Perhaps the biggest concentration camp is right in your own mind, and the key is in your pocket.
So my healing took many, many years. That's why I feel so fortunate to let you know not to ever, ever give up, to find hope in hopelessness, because suffering gives you strength. No, I won't be that girl anymore. That little girl, she's going to be better. She's going to be stronger. It's not what happens, it's what you do with it.
Just remember, No one can take away from you what you've put in your own mind.